Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's good to see you. I have a slightly more sort of like stable setup here. I'll be here for at least a week, but maybe a month if it all works out. And I'm just kind of trying to find a nice temporary place until I head out of the country if all goes well. So more to come on that move that's upcoming. But today we're gathered for a chance to tune into how to manifest, because you chose the special topic, manifesting all of this or greater. Of course, this reading also contains a bunch of other elements. My main title card isn't here, but we're going to look at things like basically channeled messages that come through from dreams and meditation, 7-day forecast, elemental check-in, and then the special topic. And because I work with mediumship, if something comes up that I need to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. Anyway, I hope you can hear and see me well. I did have a chance to use my regular camera, which will give us a slightly better resolution here, and I have a smaller one that's going to be used for the overhead, but I think we can make this work. So, getting used to producing on the run. All right, so I'd like to begin with the channeled messages for today. There are a couple things that came through in dreams. One is odd, but I always learn to not judge kind of like what comes through. And so the first thing that I saw was basically just like a cemetery, the best way to put it. And what I'm getting with the cemetery metaphor is putting things to rest, very much like Four of Swords or Death card energy. And these are exciting energies because it's kind of like close of one chapter, beginning of another chapter. And so the question today, and especially as we're looking at the next week, is what is it that you need to wrap up? So for putting something to rest, it's like tying up loose ends, closing the chapter, and putting it on the shelf. If there's something that you've been meaning to do, if there's something that you've promised to do, but you haven't had a chance to finish it, this is the week to do so. And also this can be about letting go. If there are people, if there are things in your life that you're just really not feeling the connection to anymore, this is validation of that. And it's saying when you release that hold, if you will, then you are going to be far more able to have space for better things to come through. So that's message number one. As we're talking right now, the word cornucopia comes through, which I would connect with there's a deck that used to have this on the judgment card. It's the bounty that we get once we've worked really hard, the reciprocity that should be coming through for all of this sort of like all the karmic energy that you've been working through for this first half of the year. And it could, of course, connect us with the energy of, in the Northern Hemisphere anyway, autumn. So looking way into the future, I would say September and October should be especially fruitful with the seeds that you're planting today. And that ties into the daily message. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it. But I mentioned about an old Crowded House song, Don't Dream It's Over. And sometimes we give up because people tell us that we should give up. Sometimes we give up because we just aren't seeing the results. But you're kind of like the cosmic gardener between now and autumn. Again, Northern Hemisphere, so I'm giving months too. So I would say between now and October. And it's important each month to plant seeds. For those of you that do enjoy gardening, whether you have a big plot of land or just a little tiny planter that you rotate things in, you know that you plant for all seasons. Bulbs for the spring, something that's going to bloom in the summer, something that might hold its color in the fall. You want to make sure it's not just one season. You're constantly putting things in the ground that will grow and flower and flourish at different times. So that's very much what you're doing now, is that kind of planning and opening up the plot and kind of getting everything ready. And that doesn't mean that it will come through overnight. Seven of Pentacles energy is also connected to this. As we're speaking right now, real-time channeling, they're saying don't deviate and avoid distractions. So it's going to be very important for you to be discerning in how you spend and use your time and energy and money. Let me see if there's anything else. They're really just saying focus, focus, focus. Like I'm seeing a magnifying, or not a magnifying glass, but like a telescope. They want you to look out at the future and not lose track of that. Easier said than done. There's so many things that can be distracting, right? Those are the main messages today. So we're doing the cosmic gardening. We're looking out at the future. And I do believe that you chose the right, whatever you choose is what we need to focus on. But when I looked at it, there was some surprise. I'm like, oh, that one got in, okay? Because I had a couple of other ones that I thought might be interesting, but I always trust in the collective to choose for the collective. So well done, you. Okay, now let's go ahead and get a little bit more tactical and practical. We're going to look at the 7-day forecast so that we can get ready for this week ahead, all right? So I already have a deck selected for this, and like I said, trying a different camera angle and everything, because I'm like, thankfully this hotel that I'm at has a nice like pull-out desk, so I think this will work for us. Okay. May not be able to see everything, but you can at least see some of what I'm doing. And it took me the better part of a week to find the right place. So we will be getting those monthly videos. I saw someone in chat was like, get the June readings done. I'm like, I'll get them done. Give me a break. It's been 3 different places that I've been at this week. So come on, guys. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about today first. All right, so let me get the right graphics up. Okay, looking at the energy of Sunday for today, and now I realized I need to bring it to the main camera, so we'll be doing that little combo thing each time I do it. All right, for Sunday, we have the King of Swords coming through, and this is great energy for today, actually. It's a card of action and communication, and so it's really encouraging you in this moment to walk the walk, talk the talk, but also speak it into existence if there's something you want or need, and be mindful of the way that you talk about yourself and what your dreams are, since we're looking at manifesting. Because if you say, well, if this doesn't happen, I'll just settle for this, you've just created a contract with the universe and told them you don't care. So don't do that. Focus on like working towards what it is that you're trying to create. Focus on also being positive about yourself. I'm working on manifesting. I'm working towards creating this. I can't wait to see this happen. And as many of you have known over the past year, I've used the power of what if. What if this happens quicker than I thought? What if there's an easier or better, all of this or better, way for this to happen? So this King of Swords is reminding you to use your words and thoughts and actions wisely. And by doing so, you're going to be able to surprise yourself. Okay? What if you could surprise yourself at how quickly and easily things happen? Okay? What if, indeed. Okay, now let's take a look at the energy for Monday. For Monday, this is the day to be careful with. So we have the energy of the trickster coming through. Let's talk about it. All right. So for Monday, the trickster, of course, in this particular deck is the Devil card. And a devil reversed is a devil avoided, but there's still a temptation in front of you. And like in Lord of the Rings, where Galadriel is offered the ring, and she's like, she goes through that moment. She's like, instead of a dark lord, you'll have a dark queen, and I'll be terrible and beautiful, all that stuff. And then she's like, you know what? I'm going to fade and diminish and go into the West. I'm going to choose a different path. It may not be as glorious as that, but I'll also keep my soul in the process. So you may have the moment of temptation like Lord of the Rings, but just like her, you're going to say, no, that's not the path I came here for. The temptation could be giving up on your dreams. Just like, well, this is easier. I'm just going to compromise. This is good enough. It could be getting involved in a relationship, job, or opportunity where there's way too many strings attached. And it could just be a limiting thought. This will never happen. Whatever it is, very much like Lord of the Rings, you're going to pass the test. You're going to remain true to your soul, to your heart, and to your path. Okay? And it's just an imaginary sort of thing that's coming through. Like she's getting tempted by a thought. It doesn't have to happen. It's a really cool way to think of the devil reversed, right? Because you see a character that is normally strong. Even Gandalf in those movies, he's like, don't give me the ring. He didn't even need to kind of like reach out for it. He was like in the very beginning of the Fellowship. He's like, no. And he would wrap it up in a thing and like he couldn't touch it because he knew that the temptation would be too great. They were stronger than the temptation, but the temptation was there. And anybody that thinks that temptations don't exist is going to get tricked. So be aware of it, be grateful for that moment, and then when the temptation comes through, be stronger than the temptation. Don't be afraid on Monday to renegotiate, say no, or walk away from something that doesn't feel right, okay? And that's that. All right, let's take a look at Tuesday. We have the Two of Cups. Pretty nice for Tuesday. All right, so on Tuesday, Two of Cups, upright, a great day for partnership, a great day to reach out for help if you need it. There may be people in your life that are offering support. Don't be afraid to say thank you and yes. The way that I found this is one of my friends is staying at the same place, and they were like, why don't you check this out? It's going to be great. And it was, because I was having difficulty. As you could tell this week, nothing was matching up. I was at like 3 different places. So sometimes we can all be stubborn. Two of Cups is someone who really wants to help you out. So if you have that support in your life, then say yes and say why not. It'd be a great day if you want to have a date, meeting, or just have some fun. All of that partnership energy is coming through. I see 2 people vibing here, and it can just be friendship and support. It doesn't always have to be a romantic endeavor. It can just be connecting with people that you love, okay? See if there's anything else that I want to talk about with this. I just see like take care is what came through, and there might be someone that wants to take care of you or you want to take care of. Give them time to be open to the reception of this. Like, it has to be reciprocated. Don't force the connection. Even if you care and know that someone could use your support, give them a chance to come around. They may need to, okay? But a great energy overall. You can do anything with the Two of Cups. Teamwork makes the dream work, if I had to give it like a title though, okay? Let's take a look at the midweek. In the middle of the week, we have the Five of Wands. It is in the reverse position. Five of Wands is not bad, it's not good either. It can represent conflict, except in this one, I very much am flashing to, the scene, the very last part of Harry Potter where all the wizards are coming together with their wands and creating joint sort of like action. So in some decks, you'll see people protesting in this or you can either fight each other or fight the system. So in this situation, recognize that you may have more in common than you think. And rather than fighting each other, fight the system and make some sort of progress together. So instead of conflict, lean into collaboration, cooperation, and communication. Different C words, because it can represent conflict. It can also represent a moment in time where, yeah, someone's like making a mega shield. It can represent a moment in time where you're just spinning your wheels. So see the bigger picture and work together on this. And I'll periodically, if you watch my channel, I love to reference movies and music and mythology and stuff like that because it's a common language that we can all get to. And these cards are old, not this deck, but like sometimes we need to update the metaphors. So that's why I'll often talk about that stuff. It just helps us create a common language here. All right, now we are looking at Thursday, I believe. Okay, and let's see what's coming through for Thursday. All right, so we have King of Wands energy. I'm liking this. This is the leadership. This is the boss energy. And this is your chance to actually make something work. King of Wands, inventive, imaginative, problem solving, not accepting the status quo. Also super bossy. And we need and want boss, basically, cards to come through from time to time. I would equate this with Emperor energy. So King and Queen of Wands are like the Emperor and the Empress. They really are great at like production and direction and management. And even if you're not in a job where all of these things happen, this is a chance for you to do that for yourself, to manage your life, to focus on what it is that you need, what you want, etc. And also to innovate and imagine new things. If you can do that, then some really exciting things can come through for you. The only thing that I would say, it's an upright card, so I'm not that worried, but sometimes we can get so laser focused on one thing that we might miss something going on around us. So take time to tune in and observe and know that there's more than one way to get something done. This is a very, sometimes, like the horse blinders are on, very tunnel vision kind of card. So take time to open up a little bit, okay? So we just looked at Thursday. Now let's take a look at Friday. And it's one of the arguably the best cards in the deck. Let me just go ahead and switch cameras so we can see it. We have the sun coming through for Friday. So this is next to the star, one of the most charismatic cards that you can get. It does have a childlike energy in it. And that means that if you can find a way to joyfully deal with something, for instance, let's say you've got to clean the house, put on your favorite dance music or something like that. And while you're doing it, sing out loud, have some fun, and it distracts you from the mundane task of scrubbing the floors or whatever. The childlike energy is playing, making it playtime, or saying, if I get this done in an hour, I'm gonna go see a movie. Do something, get a carrot on a string that makes it fun, and use that child within you that just wants to play, like use that as motivation. Let's play faster, let's get this done quicker. This is also a great card if you need to step into a position of leadership like we talked about from the day previous, or if you just want to talk about something important. The sun is charismatic, powerful, and has a way of getting people pulled into something without them even thinking. So negotiations are very, very highly sort of like influenced by the sun card. It's an auspicious energy, beneficial energy. So if you need to get something done or if you need to talk to someone, this is a great day to do it. If you want to make a great first impression, like a date or and think of our own sun. It's almost like an invisible gravity that it has. So this is a day where that energy from today, the King of Swords, really comes into play. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions are what pull people in. They don't understand why that you have that like X factor, but you do. So it's all of that. You have to kind of like embody it. I really feel like Friday's just the culmination of the lessons of the week, and it's a great precursor to the weekend, okay? All right. Let's, speaking of the weekend, peek into what's coming through for next weekend. So a little bit of a chance to recalibrate or balance as we're looking at Saturday. So on Saturday, we have Two of Coins. Choices have to be made. Resources might be a little bit tighter or limited, but when you choose wisely, you'll have enough. You just can't do everything. Either you compromise and do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and nothing really gets done, or you say, that's the priority, I'm gonna delegate or just decline this. I don't have time for everything. Choices are important. This can also be a call to action. Your guides, angels, and your higher self is coming through and saying, make some choices. Make sure that you have enough time for relaxation, enough time for physical fitness, enough time for rest. One thing that the last 2 nights, because it has been chaotic this week, I closed my eyes and didn't wake up until there was a wake-up call. I am not usually that sound of a sleeper, but literally my body was drinking in every moment of extra sleep. And that's a good sign. That was me making choices. Some of the choices include I will do the readings when my mind is clear, and it is clear now, and I think you can even tell I'm back into a much more sort of grounded state. You need a common place to be. You need to rest. Take it from someone who's been through a lot this week. Find your balance. Whatever it takes to get to that, it's okay. You may feel a little discombobulated on your way to taking one of those pentacles and making it an ace, but like right now it feels like, especially on Saturday, you're pulled in too many directions and you need to know when enough is enough, okay? And then on Sunday, well, it's all working towards success, folks. It's just a matter of timing and time. We have the Six of Wands in the reverse position. Everything will work out, but not exactly in the manner or sort of form that you might have imagined it would. You'll find yourself in a place that could surprise you, but could also be very beneficial to and for you. Six of Wands in reverse. Don't give in to pressures to meet up to what others expect of you. Parents, friends, society. Sometimes we're constantly in that template. Redefine what success means to and for you. You are the architect of your life. And what is successful and brings joy to you may not for someone else. And that doesn't make their view of it wrong or your view of it wrong. It's just different, okay? And take time to drink it all in. Sometimes when we're busy or when something great happens, we don't fully understand or appreciate it because we're too focused on the whirlwind of life, okay? Let's look at highlights and challenges for this week, and then I'm going to take a look at the elements. Let me see if I can pull this over. Again, it's off to my left. I'm trying to do my best here with all of this. So the energy for today, like I said, is pretty good. And I think your highlights, if I were to look at you got a lot of highlights actually. So Sunday, this upcoming Thursday, and Friday, these are the best days of the week because the cards are upright, they're power cards, and it's just a matter of leaning into and believing in your power, okay? This is also a hidden highlight. It's just a matter of redefining things. When you look at it from a different perspective, you realize you're closer than you think. The biggest challenge, and I think the only major challenge, is probably on Monday. Be discerning, don't give in to the temptation, be like Galadriel and Gandalf, and just be stronger. Because if we were to look at that pantheon of characters, the character that wasn't strong was Saruman. He was wiser and older than most of them, but gave into temptation. So be strong. Let's go ahead now, and we're going to go into the elements, focusing on a quick pulse for all the signs. So for those of you that are patiently waiting, and you will receive them this week. I thought last week would be less chaotic, but it wasn't. This is a great checkpoint, okay? So we're going to group them into all of the elements. Let me go ahead and choose a different deck. Okay, we'll give everything a shuffle. Fire, earth, air, water. Lots of reversals. I'm going to read them as upright with a cautionary note since they did come through reversed. Okay, we're going to start off with the fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. With the chariot in the upright, if the chariot were in the upright position, I should say, you would basically be making great progress, seeing everything coming together, and collaborating and communicating well. When it's reversed, something could be off the rails. There could be a misinterpreted instruction. I just saw something on TikTok which was wild, but there was a woman, I think was it in Washington State? Anyway, there's a light rail, which is basically a type of transportation that trains can kind of go over. But anyway, I guess there was an intersection where the rail crossed the road, and there was a woman that drove on the rail because her GPS was telling her to go there. I think there's also a scene from Parks and Recreation where two of the characters drive into the water because the GPS isn't wrong. The GPS can sometimes be wrong. And so I want you to listen to your inner GPS, not just what your friend, your boss, or some computer is telling you to do, because sometimes it isn't right. Sometimes they don't have the full picture. Sometimes you know best. And so I'm getting that very current example of someone just driving into dangerous territory because, you know, your phone says take a left and proceed to the route, and you're driving off a cliff. Don't drive off a cliff, okay? Be smart about that. The chariot in reverse is also about micromanagement, and sometimes we have people in our lives, and it doesn't have to be a boss. It can be a friend or a parent that comes in. How are you doing on this? Is this okay? Did you understand everything? And it's like, slow down, less caffeine, I'm fine, give me some space, and give me a chance to finish this. So someone might be trying to take your own ability to drive this forward away simply by like inserting doubt in the mix. Very interesting messages coming through today with some of that stuff, but that's what I'm getting here with the chair. There's only room for one driver, and you've got to be the one driving the ship. This is very Piscean, the way that this is illustrated, so there could be someone also using emotions to drive something forward, not data, and they really do need to look at the data to make sure that everything is okay. All right? So you're the one at the wheel. You're going to trust your inner GPS, and you're not going to drive into a train or or off a cliff or anything like that. Use common sense. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, the other thing that's coming through for the chariot reversed is you've got the power, the capacity, and the wherewithal to make this happen. There might have been someone in your life that told you you can't do this. That is just their opinion, and unless you legitimately don't have the resources and it's just a confidence thing, I don't want you to listen to that, okay? All right. Let's move on from Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius to the earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You can say no. Saying no is okay. Justice. Now is the time to create better balance in your life. Fight for what's right. Fight for what's necessary. But fight the good fight. Don't just fight for the sake of doing so. There might be something that needs to be reviewed, revised, or rejected, and this is very much sort of like countering the energy of the devil, which we talked about. So Monday's contracts, Monday's temptations. Justice comes through reverse and says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to remain myself, just like Galadriel. Justice is also about choices that you need to make in your life, and also a reminder from Spirit, just like the GPS message, only you can decide. Any reader worth their weight in gold is going to provide a map, provide some insights, warnings, and possible benefits of taking certain paths, but always will empower you to decide. Now you know. Now you can decide. Do your best. So Spirit's coming through and saying only you can decide what works for you. Okay? You may also need to work with someone like a lawyer or some sort of an expert to get the right path, sort of like get the right information to decide what's right for you. So please do that. We're talking like legal information, policies, and procedures, all that stuff that we don't have memorized, but someone else does, or someone else knows how to get. Okay? Finally, if you need to right or wrong, you can right or wrong this week as well. All right, moving on from Earth to Air. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have Queen of Fire, the Queen of Wands coming through for you. And in this particular deck, she's Pele, the goddess of volcanoes, fire, creation, and destruction. She is something to be respected. Respect the process. Respect also when things are either birthing or being released. And I did get that sort of like Four of Swords death energy. Some things might be fizzling out, but there's stuff going on beneath the surface. So I feel like it's just a matter of time before a breakthrough, before that volcano comes to life. It may look dormant. Things may seem dormant in your life, but it's an illusion. It's about things are about to blow their top. There's going to be something amazing here, just a little bit further down the line than you thought. Everything that I mentioned earlier about the King of Wands, warning signs about being too laser focused or razor focused, like it has to be in a certain way, shape, or form. Let's not do that right now. Let's stay open-minded. Sometimes she forgets her power, and we forget that we're looking at magic in wands. Like literally, they're holding a magic wand. So if you can imagine it, if you can believe in the possibility of it, it could happen. On my Instagram feed, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I do stay tapped into stuff. I was watching a podcast excerpt, and I want to watch the whole thing with Sharon Stone. She was talking about her ability, well, she did some like healing for herself, but also I think it was her father who had something, and she's like, you just have to manifest it here or do this. We forget that we can magically sometimes shift things in our body. I did some with my ear. I'm trying to do some with my knee. When you know what's wrong and then you're like, okay, I'm going to try to facilitate some healing in this area and surprise the doctors when I come back. You never know what's possible. I do believe in the capacity for our bodies to surpass what makes sense, because we are natural healers. That doesn't mean that you don't work with doctors. It just means that you co-create the best outcome with them and sometimes surprise them. So believe also in your ability to heal your finances, to heal your inner child, to heal your relationships. She can use her magic wand and make something happen. So direct your energy and your intention towards possibilities and positivity rather than negativity or a lack. She works better when she can create and isn't boxed in. And normally she's in the desert and there's things growing around her. So even in a lack of something, she can conjure it up. And that's what Pele's doing. She's conjuring up fire from the earth. Okay? So you've got the ability to conjure it into existence. It's not here now. There's a lack. There's something that you might be missing or wanting. But you have an ability to find a synchronicity, miraculously kind of like connect with something, or imagine a better way. And we call that conjuring and we call that magic, but it's really just opening up the flow, right? Rearranging the molecular structure and something amazing happens. So the magic is happening here in the air signs. Let's go to water, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay, Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands is in the reverse position. If it's upright, it basically represents being very, very close to the finish line. I forget the name of this. This is going to be a movie soon, this creature in the background. I'll have to look it up afterwards. But what we don't want to get distracted by is our anxieties, kind of going from Nine of Wands to Nine of Swords. What we don't want to get distracted by is just doing things and missing the big picture, missing something that might be going on in the background that deserves our attention. This is perseverance and, persistence personified. Lots of P words there. And so what you want to do is realize you've come so far. Just get a good night's rest like I did. And tomorrow will feel a lot different. Just talk to someone. Just shift the view and the perspective a bit. And then you will be able to finish what you've started. There's just a little bit of distraction going on in your life right now. And it's okay to be distracted. We all have that from time to time. Let me see if there's anything else with this one. Oh, sometimes with the Nine of Wands, we can get a headache. We can have thoughts that are so discombobulating that it's basically we're creating our own anchor or pause, and we don't need to. So just breathe and imagine that it could happen quicker than you imagine. Okay? All right. It's special topic time, so we're going to now get ready for manifesting all of this or greater, which, again, great choice in topics today. And I didn't get it set up, and you can't see it because of the lighting, but Apollo's behind me. We'll pull him up separately at the end. We got a lot to talk about today, so hopefully, assuming I stay here another week or so, I will, I'll try to get the Apollo cam set up if I can. But it's okay. Not everything's going to be as it is while I'm working on remote sort of productions. Maybe this is what we want. Okay, so let's talk about how we're going to manage this particular part of the reading. So what I want to look at, I'm going to pull a regular Celtic Cross for a moment and just see what's going on collectively. And then we're going to do the deeper dive in the expanded forecast because I feel like that's where the magic can happen in the manifesting. So I might pull past, present, future. I'm doing different approaches towards we will do the expanded, but I'm really going to dig a little bit deeper into it and see where the blocks are, see what we can manifest, because those areas, health, wealth, love, and then destiny, we'll figure out something else there. Destiny is just where you're headed, so I might also just kind of we might do some free-flowing things. So let's just see where we go on this one. I'm very much going to allow myself to edit or revise it as I might need to do. Okay, so let's give the cards a shuffle. We're surprisingly doing well with this temporary setup here. I'm impressed that it's all working. Oh, you can't see that. Spoke too soon. I gotta find where it shows up. Okay, there we go. All right, so, oops, there we go. Let's take a look at your catalyst for today. I like this. So, the kiss. This is very much connected to Lover's energy, to Two of Cups energy, to Six of Cups energy. Partnership, unexpected support, and also for many of you, the ability to just sort of like sealed with a kiss is what's coming through. I haven't thought of that in a long time. There were two kisses that came through. One is the kiss of death, which we talked about, like letting something go. Goodbye. And then the other one is sealed with a kiss, like I just gave this my 100%. And I'm I'm releasing it to the world. So you may find yourself between those two kisses, blessing something out of existence or blessing something into existence. And they don't have to be mutually exclusive, because death stands at the nexus of ends and beginnings. And so a little bit of both. And there might be romance, partnership, or friendship that's going to be a part of the energy this week as well. So the kiss part, talking about manifesting, particularly when you're going to end or start something. When you end something, we don't want any old karma to be sticking around. So you just want to make sure that it's a clean departure, a clean exit, that you say things that are elevated when and if possible. Really just, not burning any bridges unnecessarily. With the blessing into existence, it's really saying, I'm so proud of this because I gave it my all. There's no sense of coulda, woulda, shoulda, because you're doing your best. Okay? All right, let's see what this week holds for you. It's pretty good. It was interesting that the tower and the page, not the page, but the Knight of Wands were kind of sticking together. So these two are working in tandem. But we do have partnership. We do have balance. We have the ability to create a lot of abundance when we're looking at money and love this week. So I like it. Let's go to the center card first. Okay, so at the center of it all, and this is kind of like what you have helping you out. We have a Knight or a Prince of Pentacles, very Taurus energy with the ox or bull right beneath him. And it's saying, as long as you stay grounded, as long as you stay specific and not too nebulous when it comes to what you're trying to do, you can actually get a lot done. Whenever I see a Taurus, I think of the stock market, or like not just Taurus, but when I see the symbol for Taurus, a bull, I think of being bullish in the best way possible. Like, I'm going to do this. This is what's happening. This can happen. This will happen. We're making this happen. That's a good sort of stubborn energy, because you believe it enough to go the distance. So as long as you are stubborn, like a Taurus, and I have a Taurus placement, so I can say that, then you can get it done. My Taurus is in my moon, which can be challenging sometimes because old habits die hard, and stubbornness you can kind of get stuck in a certain way of doing something. But when this is in your sort of like sun or rising, if you have a Taurus placement, it can propel you forward, because you just believe it and do it and figure it out. Fake it till you make it. So I do believe there's a little bit of that energy here. This is also saying, fight for what it is that you believe in, and put your best foot forward. When it comes to the way that you're communicating, presenting yourself, that includes the way that you're dressing, like, dazzle them. And you're going to be fine. Always follow it up with actual information and real stuff. But if you can do that this week, the bullish energy is good. Okay? All right. So, crossing the tower. I'm also thinking of, what is it, a bull in a china shop or something like that, where like, there's delicate stuff. I forget what the phrase is, but sometimes the bull can go in and just destroy things, is what I'm seeing. But sometimes things need to be broken down. So whatever might be falling away from you, or whatever you might feel like needs to be broken up, it's for the best. And some things are falling away, falling apart, breaking into pieces, breaking up. But there are pieces that can be rebuilt from that. And the tower is very much a card of possibilities. So here we can either see someone that is the agent of change and they're breaking up the tower, or they're holding on to the crumbling pieces. I invite you to move with the energy or be the agent of change, rather than hope that a falling piece doesn't fall on you. So an example of this is if you're, let's say you see the writing on the wall in a job that you're working at, and you know that that's probably not going to be around in a year. You could wait. You could hope that the severance would be there. You can hope that everything's going to be okay. But if it gets taken over, if it goes bankrupt, you're not guaranteed anything. You could also try to find a plan B, all of this or better. So you could try to find something where you could land on your feet. And that would be better because it's guaranteed, and the other one is not. So if you can work on a firmer, stronger option, just get ahead of the change. You'll be happy that you did. Things are moving quicker than you can almost keep your eyes on. And there may be some things that are out of your control. And part of judgment and the Tower is knowing when things are just destined to happen. And you have to just give it room to crumble. So think of a building that's being bulldozed in real life. You're not going to be right there at the perimeter. You'll stand way, way back from another building and watch the dynamite as they bring it to its, raise it to the ground. So if you can sense an oncoming tower, it's better to vacate while you can. Don't wait for the tower to decide for you. It's not upright, it's not reversed, it's a crossing card. So it's something that you observe, you may be around, you may be able to use it to your benefit, but you don't want to get wrapped up in this. And there might be someone in your life that's the tower. Like they're just not, it's not all coming together. You can throw a life raft, you can be a person that can like listen and give a little bit of help, but you can't go into the tower with them. They need to get out of their tower moment, and that's basically all that I get with this, okay? Change, revision, and leaning into making necessary changes. Look at the eye at the very top of this. It can see it. It can see it before it's happening. All right. Let me take a drink, and then we're going to talk about the next two cards here. Alrighty. So one thing that I'm noticing here is some of you might have had to take a step backward. We have the Knight of Wands in the reverse position. What this Knight is doing is exactly what I just talked about. So first of all, there was a plan. There are some resources and some things in front of you, but the plans have changed, or your mind has changed, or you've received more information and you have a different sort of view of what's possible. Whatever might be going through your mind at this moment, you need to take a step backwards so that you can see it more clearly. And that's really what we're getting with this. And once you have all of the facts, all of the information, then you can decide, do I still want to go here? So a reverse Knight must pause so that they can understand something that wasn't there before but is there now. Look at the environment. Listen to what people have to say. Listen to your own instincts. Slow down just a little bit. There might be an external piece of advice that's coming through. You don't want to make an immediate decision. Sleep on that as well. I do like that the overarching symbol that this deck chose to illustrate is a phoenix. So, beautiful actually. So we have a tower, and then we have a phoenix rising above the ashes of the tower. You have the fire there, but the phoenix is going to rise up. You'll be fine. As I've been saying, whatever needs to fall away or fall apart, it's doing so that you can see past that moment. Sometimes that's too much of a distraction and you have to just get away from it. So one thing that I love, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Literally just in a random city where there's a nice new hotel and there's nothing but like a freeway. But now I have, there's no distractions. There's no neighbors. There's nothing. And I was like, well, maybe this is where I'm supposed to be to kind of focus on some things. So sometimes you have to get pulled back from things so that you can just focus. And I will say, not being with all that stuff and just actually getting away from where I was living for so long and having challenges, I already feel better. I know I'll probably feel even better when I'm completely out of all of this. And so sometimes it's like you're zooming out and seeing it like on your phones. Usually there's a 1x or there's a half view, which is super wide. There's one and then there's zoomed in. So we're going to like the half one where it's zoomed out, like a fisheye lens so you can see it all. And it feels like you just need to get the fisheye view of everything. Okay? Okay. All right. So in the recent past, we have the Four of Wands in the reverse position. And this is saying there's some impatience for some of you. When we look at love, we'll definitely look at this a little deeper and you can remind me, but you may be wondering, is this partnership, is this friendship, is this love ever going to come through? And you've set the stage. Sometimes that's all we have to do is set the stage and set the table. It's like before eating, you put all the silverware out, you put the plates out, the food comes later. We set the stage, and you're really just in the setting of the stage right now. And sometimes when I get one of the love cards, that old Whitney Houston song, The Greatest Love of All, it's about the love inside of you, like you loving yourself and accepting yourself, right? And so you have to really be at peace with who you are and where you're at before you birth or create something new. And she talks in that song, she's talking about the children, like, I believe the children are their future. Teach them well, let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. But all the stuff that she's talking about for the children, she's really talking about, she needs to find it for herself, her inner child first. So you need to believe that you are worthy, you are beautiful, you are deserving of joy, that you don't have to suffer, that there's no more need for punishment, that you are amazing. Like, really work on healing, loving, and accepting yourself. And put yourself in that Four of Wands. Be your own best friend. Be your own best advocate. And then someone will meet you on the level. Rather than having someone fix your life, you fix your own life. And then you attract someone who's done the same. And then you can just have a partner rather than a teacher, rather than a codependent fixer-upper. And then that's the or greater part. It's a greater love than you. It's a higher love. And I think maybe that's what some of you are ready for. And to get to the higher love, and that's like a Steve Winwood song. To get to the higher love, you have to do the work internally. And there's a little bit of residual work to be done. And for some of you, it could be changing your relationship with self-worth and or finances. For some of you, it could be getting a big picture and understanding just how far you've come. And in doing so, it's all going to come into focus in a way that you hadn't imagined. It's different than you thought. The person, the partnership, whatever this represents for you, it's coming through in a very different way, but a very good way too, okay? Crowning position, Three of Pentacles. So, Three of Pentacles is a card of mastery, and that means that whatever you set your mind to, you can master that art, you can master that process, you can create something beautiful. This is a card of completing something great works. So, often the card of writers, but not just writers. You're putting something in a form that people can connect with. So I would kind of like pull this out in a larger text. This can be curriculum, this can be teaching, this can be mentorship, this of course can be writing, technical or creative. It can also be manufacturing something, and we see all these pieces coming together here, pieces of a whole, right? And so very much a teamwork card, and I like that we see the teamwork energy highlighted in this Three of Pentacles. Sometimes we just see a single person chiseling away, at the archway and two people with their clipboards. But this is saying, no, we're co-creating this together. So in this period of time, you can create something great, and the onus to do it isn't yours alone. You don't have to do it all on your lonesome. You can work with others. A small partnership or team of 2 to 3 people can really make something amazing happen. This is also connected with education. And this is your keystone. So it's at the top of the spread, and it holds everything together. So as a keystone, it's saying the sort of like connective thread is, this is the sealed with a kiss piece. Whatever you're creating, do so with 110%. And if you want to learn something, that's also going to help you out. And it doesn't have to be like going to college. It can be, I just got my 2 textbooks for like learning Spanish back. I'm like, I gotta work with my tutor because that's gonna be happening sooner than later. So you can work on your own, you can work with a partner, but you're gonna have to do the work. However you're gonna do the work, allow yourself to learn and expand. This is a time for that. There's more to be learned, and it could be fun if you allow it to be fun, okay? Love this. And also, so I talked about the power of the King of Swords when we were looking at the 7-day forecast, and I believe that was the energy for today. King of Swords isn't just action and words, but they're also writing. That sword can be a pen. And so you can put things into writing, and great things can come of that, not the collaborative, but that sort of creative energy. 6 of Pentacles, get the balance right. This is your chance to focus on not over-delivering, not overextending, not doing anything in excess. So there's always hands that are open. We can see them here. And you are the source here, and you get to decide a little bit of this, a little bit of that, forget about that. And then saving enough for yourself. Getting ample rest, making sure that your budget isn't overextended. That's why I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, oh, if I just go, an hour and a half out of the city, I'm good. I can afford this and I'll be fine. And who needs all of that anyway? Priorities, getting your priorities straight, very important. The other thing here, when we're looking at balance, because for some of the elements, we have the Two of Pentacles, now we have the Six of Pentacles. We had Justice come through as well. With all of those, since I got the trifecta of balance cards, I want you to look at all things in your life. Work-life balance, yes, but also how are you feeling emotionally? Do you have any sort of inner ear balance or other balance issues? Whatever's going on with that, we need to get the scales where they need to be, okay? What I like about this card, as we're looking at possibilities, because we're, again, grounding ourselves into all of this or greater, manifesting it. This is enough. If someone came to me for a private reading and asked, can I do this? Will it work? And I got the Six of Pentacles, I would say, provided that you continue to make the great choices that you're making, sure. You have to stay balanced. You have to stay focused. But you have enough. And from this, you can get to the 7, 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles. So you have what it takes this week. We're not in the card of lack, like 4 of Pentacles or 5 of Pentacles. We're not in a card of being overstretched, like the 2 of Pentacles. We just saw the 3, which is education, expansion, mastery, great works, and now we see that that's going to be enough to bring you forward. You've got what it takes, but you have to make smart choices. If I can double, triple, and quadruple underline that, I would like to do that. As long as you continue to be smart about things, you'll be all right. Here comes the Chariot again. Let me take a drink of tea here, and then I want to talk more about this. I have to see where I put it because I didn't want to make a mess, and I don't know where it is. Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. Once again, the Chariot, but this time the Chariot in the upright position. Okay. So now the theme from Mahogany, an old song by, why can't I think of it, Diana Ross. Do you know where you're going to? That's the theme to that. I've never seen the movie. I should watch it sometime. But that old song, do you know where you're going to? So it's that sort of thing. I think, and this ties perfectly into Don't Dream It's Over, the daily for today. When we are small, when we are young, if we are fortunate and lucky and have parents and teachers that ask us this question and support the limitless possibilities, we get asked the question, what do you want to do when you're older? What's your passion? What extracurriculars you want to do? And you can sign up for things. So you can still do that. You may not have parents, guardians, or teachers. You have me here echoing what's coming through from Spirit. You have your guides. And they're saying, where are you going? Because the tank will go longer and you'll have better mileage in the tank. Hopefully we eventually go towards better sources of energy than petrol for cars. But anyway, using the gas metaphor, if you have something that's fuel efficient, it can go further. You're more efficient when you're happy. And I would love for you to do something that brings greater joy, because you'll get there faster, you'll use less energy, and you'll pull more people into the process overall. So this Chariot needs to know where they're going. Right now, they're paused. I love that he's kind of like he's got wings. It's a different sort of chariot. And this is much more like the Egyptian chariot, like the sun god Ra. It's that kind of energy. So you have the capacity for things not to just move forward, but to rise up. But you have to really feel it, and you have to want it, and there has to be a passion. And we lose the passion naturally and unintentionally as we get older, because we stop dreaming, and because we stop imagining, and because we just stop. So I'd like you to start your path towards something that gets you excited. And it does not have to mean that you're going to pull up all of the roots and throw out the baby with the bathwater. It just means that you might be making a small change that could open up something amazing in the long run. And something that you thought was a hobby could become something bigger. Maybe it's a arts and crafts thing that you do. Maybe it's There could be any number of things that you're working on, and all of a sudden it's like it takes off. You did it because it made you happy, but that happiness can open doors. Very unusual read today for a lot of this stuff. I think I just needed 2 nights of great sleep and some great energies coming through, but that's what I'm getting for the Chariot. It's not about moving. Okay, so Spirit's very clear on this. It's not from A to Z. It doesn't have to go in a straight line. You could be going in a different direction. There isn't just one way to get this done. You could go up, you could go this way, you could go that way. It's multi-directional. So when you start to look in the different directions, assess the different options, and then you might find something faster. Okay? I'm really paying it. I never pay attention to the sphinxes on this card, but they are obviously they're right in the foreground. It's almost Spirit winking and nodding and trying to give you symbols. It's like there's a puzzle to solve, but you've got the answer. You already know what you need or want to do. The Sphinx is blocking you until you've done that. So you might also have a block. I never look at the card that way, but I was like, there's 2 Sphinxes on this. There might be a couple of blocks, but the Sphinx is holding you to answer the question, where do you want to go? And do you really want to do that? I feel like those are the 2 questions from the Sphinxes. Okay? By the way, thank you for helping us hit the goal. We're going to follow up with one of the runners up today. But you did choose great. We have a great reading. I always trust the collective. But sometimes I want to look at some other things, so I will with you. Okay, let's go to the periphery. I feel like we beat that to a pulp. All right, so by the way, I'm using True Heart Intuitive. I love Rachel True and the illustrator, the way that they kind of chose to illustrate these. She's, by the way, from a fun movie from the late 90s called The Craft. She created her own deck. She's a natural tarot reader and natural witch, and I love that she actually took it seriously in the movie and then created some cool tools for fellow intuitives, and she seems like a cool person too. So anyway, 8 of Wands, reverse position. There's like 3 things that are coming through here. Some of you, your mind is going a mile a minute, and so that's what we see here. It's all coming through the 7th chakra, but you need to tune in to really focusing the intention, because if you are, it's almost like the deity that we see that is in multi-dimensions at once, and you see all the hands in the different dimensions. You don't want to overextend yourself. I really want you to be present and connect with those people in your life that can help take off some of the load a little bit, because you've come so far in the 8 of Wands. 9 of Wands and 10 of Wands are where the exhaustion sets in. So you can delegate a little bit. You can really use the speed energy of this once you've taken a deep breath, and you're going to maybe even be able to skip over the 9 of Wands and just get to completion, the 10 of Wands. The other thing here is limit how much or how many points of feedback you're getting. 2 or 3 they're enough. 2 or 3 options, because I really feel like you're headed in the right direction. Don't overthink, don't overwork, and don't overwhelm yourself, and you're going to be okay. Use all the parts of your mind and brain and skills. We often get boxed into a category. My favorite job I had back in 2002 to 2007, 8? I forget. It was about 4 years, roughly 4 years. But anyway, towards the end of that, the company was getting taken over. There was a new manager coming in. I should say the division. It wasn't the company, it was just the division I was working in. And they were trying to make me choose between my skills. And then I couldn't, because I'm like, why shouldn't I be able to access all of these? I'm good at writing. I'm good at designing. And I didn't even know at the time, but I'm also very good at like producing and editing things. But I wanted to do a little mix of this. And if you're in a traditional like advertising agency, you could. A creative director would sometimes write the copy or mock something up. But in this particular, because I was working more in an online group, they wanted you to just do this, just Photoshop, just stay in your swim lane. And I was like, I don't want to just swim back and forth in a pool. I want to swim in the ocean. So that was the beginning of me. Really, that's when I should have left and just joined YouTube, because I think it was around the time YouTube started. But I wasn't ready yet. So what I get with this energy and where I'm going with this is, you need to think bigger than maybe the path that's being put in front of you. Someone around you has a narrow view of possibilities, and with all parts of the mind being activated here, why can't you be a multi-hyphenate, like a writer, producer, director? Think of the IMDb credits where you see a lot of times a great artist, you'll find out that they're a singer. I don't know the name of this actor, but it's the guy that's playing Lestat in the AMC Vampire Chronicles, or Interview with the Vampire. He's actually a good singer, just like Lestat was in Anne Rice's novels. And I'm not surprised. There's a lot of times that you'll find that an actor is a painter, or they write something, or they can produce. They're multi-hyphenates. You can also be a multi-hyphenate, and you can surprise people. And it's fun when you surprise people. Don't let someone paint you into a box or make you swim laps. You got something bigger to do in your life than that, okay? Okay. Now let's take a look at hopes, fears, and opportunities. And it's kind of getting us roped in a little bit on what we just talked about. So if you look at the King of Cups, right here on his, let's see, is this his left? It's his left foot. There's a tentacle or an arm that's coming through, right? And this is someone trying to say, but what about this? And you promise, or if you, what am I going to do if you leave me, and all of this stuff. There's someone that's trying to put conditions on the love, and it's not going to be good in the long run, or on the situation. So don't let someone rope you in. That's basically what I'm getting at with this. I also love that he's discerning. He's taking the best option. He has 2 cups in front of him, and he's saying, that one's not good enough. This is what I choose to put my energy into. He's being discerning. Let me see if there's any other details on this. I just love that he's in front of the water. He's, depending on who illustrates the deck, sometimes they're in the water or halfway in. He's in front of it. So he is not beholden to his emotions, but he's also not ignoring them either. And I think that this is, it's important to have that, that ability to recognize where your emotion sits and where, and not let it get in the way of doing what's necessary. Fears, like I woke up this morning very aware, and I think this is good because it's with the collective. There was a little fearful thought that came through, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to let that pull me into something else. So I want you to rise above the fear, above the doubt, and above the codependencies. And just like this playful king, toss it over your shoulder. It's water on my back. I'm going to let that go. That's your opinion. That's one situation. That's one fearful thought. But it does not a future make. It is not true. It's not truth. It's just the whisper of the trickster that we saw from the other deck. So I'll see if I can find it real quick. We don't want that thought to become a reality. It would love to become a reality. That's what the devil wants. The devil wants that little thought to reach into other parts of your mind. So I'd like you to extract it, dismiss it, and clear it, okay? 10 of Pentacles, coming through in outcome. Quite good. It is reversed, but the key to success on this one is we have 2 peacocks here, but they haven't quite shown their true colors. They haven't extended their plumage for everybody to see. So you might be holding back a little bit to please what? Friends, family, and colleagues, because that's the 10 of Pentacles. Your path is not the path that they expected. It may be a little unconventional. It may be a little unusual. You might be surprising them with what's possible. So be it. That's where you're supposed to be. You may also find yourself at a point in life where there is no more roadmap. And that is scary, but that's also when you become the cartographer and you record what's going on and you map it out yourself. I am at that point in my life. All my immediate family, aside from my wonderful dog, is gone. I have some cousins, I have a couple aunts, but like, I don't have immediate family weighing in, and I don't have siblings. And when you're kind of an adult orphan, it puts you in a different place because there's no one to lean on when you need support, and there's no one to tell you if you're right or wrong, and there's no one to judge you, and there's no one to advise you. So you have to just start to learn to trust yourself. And it's not easy, but it's also very fulfilling. And you can do it. The sooner you can do it, the easier it will be if you ever find yourself in my shoes. I hope that people don't kind of have that adult orphaned feeling. But sometimes when you're not married, you don't have siblings, you don't have parents, you're just self-contained. So if you can start to do it now, if you ever find yourself there, you'll be just fine. There's some days that are challenging, but there's also days where it's like, oh, okay, what was I worried about? And then when you find partnership, and it's not an if, it's a when you find new friends, when you find, it's like that's a cherry on top. There's a big part of this is it's just about learning to be yourself and not lose yourself in these bigger partnerships. So once you plug into something bigger, a job, a family, or even like an extracurricular sort of thing, then it's hard for you to extend those feathers and say, but wait a second, this is who I truly am. And so we want all the feathers and the plumage, the colors to come through of the rainbow. So be your authentic self. And if people don't like it, so be it. I think at some point you have to be yourself, okay? This is also saying that there might be something around a contract that isn't enough. You want to make sure that you're being included in the equation. And there might be something that was set up for you that you're like, I don't want to be set up on a date. I don't want this expectation of giving grandchildren or showing up and doing all that. I don't want to just make a show. I want to do it because I want to do it. And it doesn't mean that you can't have it. It just means on your own terms. And that's why I think we have to reprogram. I'm not worried about kids that are growing up now. I think the kids are fine. Everybody that's like 21 and younger, they've got this. They're stronger than a lot of us. Although I think the people from the previous decade or the previous century, I said that and a bunch of people are like, well, wait a second. I'm like, if you grew up in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, it was the previous century. There was a lot of resilience in that period because we didn't have social media and you had to kind of like learn things on your own. But even now, the things that kids are going through in this current world, I have a lot of faith in them. But I think what we have to reprogram is our parents and our parents' parents and our grandparents, like all of that, where they used to say like, you know, you're getting older, or you need to do this, or when am I going to have kids, or the judgmental pressure type stuff to assimilate into a program that worked for them. Why don't you just get a good job? Have you looked at the job market right now? Have you looked at the economy right now? Don't speak from a place of privilege, speak from a place of empathy. So I believe that everyone that's in this room is fine. But there's a lot of older generations that just think it's easy. Why don't you just do what I did? Because the world has changed. The world has changed a couple times over. And so we need to continue to give ourselves permission to know that and to disregard people that haven't had the same experiences that we have. Plus our third eyes are open. So that helps us see beyond the matrix, beyond the program. And it scares people when you unplug from the program. Think of two movies. I'll bring examples that will help. So Inception is a great one. So when they're in the dream, and the architect, Ariadne's character, if they start to do something that it makes it obvious that the other person, that they're in someone else's head or that they're in whatever, their consciousness fights them back. So Ariadne would hack into someone else's head and set up a dream state. If it became too unrealistic, their subconscious would fight back because it wasn't the program that they wanted. In the Matrix, on a different level, when Neo was able to come out of the Matrix and then try to plug back in, they could tell he was an anomaly. So when you're doing something different than what's expected, when the programming's different, what happens? The system might fight you a little bit. And that's your friends, your family, the world at large. They're like, do this, just do this. You don't have to just do this because you're the programmer now. You're rising above that and you're creating something different. Don't be surprised though if people don't get it. And that's the 10 of Pentacles reversed. It's people wanting you to fit into their version of you, not your version of you. You're going to go into the star and the sun energy, bright, bold, brilliant, and pulling in your own sort of things. But that might mean that you confound or confuse other people. Okay, a couple of other things and then we'll wrap up. We'll go to the next part of this, I should say. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Also, there might be the possibility for more than what you're given in front of you. Make sure that if you sign a contract, it's not too limiting, and don't give up on your creative vision, okay? Beautiful energy, beautiful spread. Seal it with a kiss and then give it the kiss of death. Okay, we're going to expand this forecast, and I want to do it in an unconventional way. So I'm going to clear the cards in front of me, and I feel like that was a cool deck that I used. I'm going to find another one that calls to me as well. And then we're going to take a look at this. By the way, this would be a great time to show some love and support. This is These are free every weekend. If you like what you see here, subscribe, use the share button below, and share it with someone that you think might enjoy it. When the reading is done, you can go to my website and give me a follow on social media if you'd like to. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, but you can get all the links there. You can also give back with PayPal from my website. You can book a private reading if you would like to, also from my website. All that information will be right there. I put the link up as well. And if you'd like to show a little bit of love and support here, you can do it. Thank you for helping us meet the goal. Now let's get into the expanded forecast. All right, for this portion, I'd like to start off with health, mind, body, and spirit. So let's see what's going on with your health and if there's anything that we need to be aware of. Again, changing it up because I do feel like sometimes it's nicer just to focus on this separate from the spread. Okay. So the first thing, solar plexus coming through karmically and energetically. So when we deal with stress and positions of power in our life, like someone that might be challenging your authority, it can actually go into the gut. And it might be for some of you a need to like recalibrate your gut biome. So about a year ago, I was having acid reflux. It's gone now. It was a combination of the diaphragm needing to be adjusted with my chiropractor and then also just me changing my diet, you taking some probiotics, losing some weight, like getting into a better kind of like version of myself. And it went away. And I didn't need to take like over-the-counter medication. I just had to really like make some lifestyle changes. But if you're stressed out, it could be something like that where the biome is off. But you can also carry stress in the gut and it can become, without proper care, like an ulcer because especially when it is a stress at work, it all sits there because it's your power center and it eats away like a battery acid at your... So in this situation, we want to heal the situation, whatever the stress is. We want to work with our body to recalibrate the natural flora in our body. And then, of course, work with the doctor. But like, it's a 360 thing, mind, body, and spirit. And just like I was talking about, you have the capacity to do some of the work on your own. Okay? Some of you might be looking at getting pregnant or you might be trying to cut the umbilical cord between you and your parents if there's codependencies. The key thing here is breathe with it a little bit and surrender. Because when you hold on too tight, it makes both of these things harder. Okay? So that's the past. The present energy was pretty good. We have King of Cups. So I mentioned I always pay attention to how they illustrate this, and he's rising above. Using meditation, using sound therapy. Interestingly enough, right behind him, we see a little sailboat. So I feel like it's going to be smoother sailing in the near future for many of you. Once you address the stress, the power issues, or maybe the diet portion of your life that could be affecting the solar plexus. Let me take a drink and then we're going to talk about the Five of Cups, which is a recalibrating one. Okay, so we have Five of Cups here. A few things that are coming through here. One is if there's grief, pain, stress, or sadness, it's being brought to the surface right now. And this is also a card of mourning. So this is connected to that death energy that I picked up in the channeled messages. So there may be something in your life where you just need to properly give it a good cry, give it a good grieve, talk to a therapist, talk it out. And that will help. I know last week was emotional for me when I was ping-ponging around and trying to find a right place. When you're moving is stressful. So changing where you live, changing your job, getting married, getting divorced, losing someone, those are some of the most stressful things that happen in your lives because they uproot you. Process it. So a couple of days last week, I just had to let the emotions come through and I'm like, all right, I'm better now. That was a lot, but it is what it is. There's always a couple of cups upright, depending on how they illustrate it. She's dipping her foot into the pool of possibilities, and there's yet another cup right behind her. Friendship, partnership, and other things that are knocking at the door, but you have to grieve first. Okay, because I'm looking at manifesting, let's say you're trying to manifest better health. Let's say one piece of advice that is coming forth to help you manifest what you want in your health and life. I don't need to know what it is. I'm just going to look at the energy of it. Okay, so now we have an upright 10 of Pentacles in it, and it vibes a lot easier with me when I look at this. Find your chosen family and your tribe, your spiritual tribe. It's better to have a couple of people in your life that are loyal and get you than to have like this bevy of people that are, it's either transactional or they come and go. I really want you to have like those besties. So I feel like that's one of the focal points here. Also, for those of you that might be dealing with something challenging, this can be the energy of the group helping you out. So like a path to sobriety, you work your steps with a group. So those of you that are doing that, this is a nod in that direction saying, right on. And for the rest of us, it can be like a spiritual group. I know when I first started to wake up to spirituality, yoga was essential. And I practiced it 2 or 3 times a week. And I found different yoga studios that really worked for me. And then I tried meetups where there were people in spiritual groups that were, kind of like into the same sort of energy work that I was. And you just kind of find your tribe. So whether it's self-help or, like I was mentioning, those of you that might be working on addiction or sobriety, good for you. You're on the right path. But sometimes we do need a support group, and it can just be a couple of friends that you trust. So accountability is the key, and that's why these partnerships work, whether it's an official partnership or a loose one. When there's people, the one thing that I do miss from my old place that I was living is there were like 3 different neighbors that I would walk with every night, and dogs and I like that. I'll build that community in a month and a half when I'm in my new home, but yeah, like you need that, whether it's just a loose connection of friends or something that you sign up for and you're accountable for, like a trainer or something like that too. I feel like that accountability is going to help you be more successful in the long run. Okay. So why don't we look at wealth now? Resources, life purpose, and career. What's in store? All right, I'm going to pull a different card for this, or a different deck for this. All right, wealth. Lady Justice just keeps showing up today, doesn't she? Okay, let's talk about it. In the karmic energy, the Page of Wands in the reverse position. If we look at it upright, this page is kind of interesting because it's been stormy weather. But he's using the sort of emotions in the storm to inspire him. So a couple of things are coming to mind. It's good to know what you don't want. And for those of you that are thinking, Nicholas, gosh, I wish I would have done this or known this or listened to a reading and taken a different path, no regrets. You're precisely where you need to be in this moment to make the right decision. And those series of events that led up to now gave you context, gave you clarity, made it easier. And so let it go. And if you're uninspired, we see someone that's going out there, finding their energy, finding their passion, and reconnecting with that. Get inspired. And so forgive yourself for any perceived mistakes or missteps. Find things in your life that create that sense of passion and excitement. And know that you're on the precipice of something really, really amazing happening. A page, just like a knight in the reverse position, so the knight is like pausing from action. The page is pausing from overthinking. So they're opening up their heart, they're opening up their mind, they're looking at it from a different perspective, but they're not going to the could have, would have, should have. They're asking more like, why? What's the bigger purpose here? What can I do next? And yes, someone in chat is mentioning like course correction. Exactly what you should be thinking of here, okay? So just stay open to the possibilities. As I mentioned, I feel like justice has been chasing us around today. So with justice coming through, she's basically saying, now it's upright. All you have to do, the hardest part is just deciding. Once you've decided, then just continue to follow through. I like that justice carries a sword. She can use the sword to cut through stuff. No, yes, this, revise. Like, she's going to be very clear and concise on what it is that needs to be done. And when you come to look at sort of a contract in your life, make sure it's fair. Make sure it's what you want. Make sure that this is good enough. And if it isn't, don't do it. Lead by example. If you're in a family, in a organization, or somewhere in your life where people are behaving poorly, behave properly and inspire others to do the same, and then use your resources to hold people to account. Lead by example, though, and don't get tempted. Back to that trickster energy that we've been talking about. You're going to, from a mile away, recognize this and say, I don't think so. No, and here's why no. And that's going to help you. Interestingly enough, when I was at my old apartment that had mold, the last one, because it's happened twice, and that's why I'm just done with all of this. But they had the audacity at the time to kind of call me up and say, oh, would you like to extend your lease? I'm like, no. And here's why I don't want to extend it, because this, and this has just happened. And so sometimes you have to say no, and this is why, and then have all your data backed up, because you might need to create sort of like a clear understanding. Someone's not plugged in, they're not listening, right? I like what we have here in the future. And don't worry, for each of these I'm going to pull, you're getting multiple final cards. We may not need one today, because you can really just say, now how do I solve this? I feel like we're going to have like 3 final cards here as we're doing it. All right, in the near future we have a beaver building a dam, but with the card in the reverse position, it's saying it might be time to release some of this stuff that you've been holding on to. If you've been saving up for something and you're ready to invest, it might be time to invest. If you've been working 24/7, it might be time to stop a little bit and let the floodgates open up. Because things can get welled up too far and they're going to break anyway. So you need to do some measured releases right now. Pressure release, stress release, all of that. Now, Eight of Pentacles is also a card of education. So there's a slight nuance between the 3 and the 8. The 3 is usually higher education, higher learning, mastery. The 8 of Pentacles is a little more casual, and it can also just be about you doing something on your own. It's a card of writing and production, more so production. And so maybe you're slowing down the production to make sure that the quality is there. More isn't always better, faster isn't always better. These are things I felt like when I was working in the 15 years of different corporate jobs that I had, I constantly had to push back on project managers and say, no, we're not going to meet the deadline because of this, this, and this. Or we're going to meet it, but you're going to lose functionality on this, or it's going to look like crap. And I want to make sure that this is on record. And I don't want my name attached to this if we're doing that. So you had to be willing and ready to speak up against shoddy production, low quality, not enough attention to detail or to quality assurance. Slow down. Less is more, and higher quality is better. And that's kind of what I'm getting here. And you may be in a place where that is not allowed, and then you have to ask yourself, how long can I be here? And is this something I'm proud of at the end of the day? And if it isn't, this probably isn't it. Finally, if you need to finish something that you haven't finished, like a degree, like a high school equivalency or something, 8 of Pentacles in reverse is going back and finishing it, and it's absolutely worth the time and energy to do so. Okay. Now you can think of something that you're trying to accomplish in your life, whether it's personal development, career development, money, and we're going to see what Spirit wants to bring through. And yeah, I just got an idea for Destiny. We're going to look at the orb better during Destiny, but anyway. Okay. Okay. We got the Tower coming through. The Tower is in the reverse position. There are multiple ways to read the Tower as this sort of like bigger question. When it's reversed, it could be that you're going to do something completely different than than what's out there. So if you are doing teaching, it's going to be, you're writing your own curriculum, you're doing it yourself. It's very sort of unusual, and you might also be doing something that inspires people to be a change maker, to do something that is breaking and rebuilding systems. And sometimes we need to do that, destruction and then construction. So that's a big element of this. Now, there are some cautionary notes. So what I love about this, if I pull it closer to the camera, you can see right there in the top of the tower, there's a little deity kind of like resting. Ostensibly, it could be someone like Kali, god of destruction, and or even like Krishna, or whatever. It could be any of the gods of destruction and creation. So that being said, if you can find your Zen as things around you are kind of like falling apart, you may be the light that people are looking for. How can we get through this chaotic period? You're sitting there zened out and saying this, this, and this. So be the calm in the storm. If you can be the calm in the storm, you'll be fine. There is a potential in this period for heightened disorganization. The chaos could be so chaotic that it distracts you, so you might need to find a space where you can think and work and do so without getting pulled into the storm. Really work on a firm foundation, a firm plan, and a place that you feel safe. And I think that's going to help you out. But I think you could be that Zen deity just saying, we've got this. And that's going to set you apart from other people. Okay? All right, why don't we take a look at love and relationships and see what's coming forth. You know, before I go on to the next piece, sometimes when I talked about getting out of the matrix, out of the grid, everyone around you may be panicking except you, because you're like, I know exactly what I'm doing, don't freak out. So that was one last little piece there. You have to keep your Zen. And that's, if we go back to Neo in the Matrix, he dodged the bullets because he anticipated them, and he started to like just rise above the program. So anyway, back into love. For the past, we have the Eight of Pentacles coming through yet again. In this particular deck, there's an interesting aspect. On the wall, we can see that there's a little helping hand, right? And this person is working really, really hard, but ostensibly there could be some help that's coming in. And all he has to do is say, yes, let's do this. This is a card of working. And in a relationship, it does take practice and skill and patience. So you may be doing the work. Is your friend, partner, or loved one doing the work? Because I'm broadly reading love here. It's the person that you're thinking about. As long as both of you are doing the work, great. But I am picking up on one nuance that I'd like to talk about, which is karmically, this has parent-teacher or parent-student, or now I'm just mushing them all together. Teacher-student or parent and child. Although any of those other transmutations could also work. The main thing that I was talking about, because all of those are accurate, there's authority sort of like changes between the two. And it doesn't make sense. That's why it's all mushed together in my head. Like, we're all the same on the soul level. You might have been someone's student before, you might have been someone's child, but in this life, you're just peers. And it's moving beyond the teaching and learning energy and more on the partnering energy. That's the opportunity. So whatever title you might want to put to that, because I was mishing them all up in my head, it doesn't really matter anyway. There is no rank. The rank is an illusion. We use ranks on this planet so that we can stay organized and pretend that everything has a rhyme and a reason, but on a soul level, we're all even Steven. I mean, some are more experienced, some are more kind, some are more compassionate, but energetically, there's no such thing as better or worse. There's just learning that's going on in the construct that we call Earth. So, You're doing the work. Hopefully they're doing the work. If someone isn't doing the work, that needs to be evened out. But in the long run, once the work is done, once the karma is complete, then the partnership can really truly begin, because then you're just there because you love the person and it's not some sort of higher learning that's coming through. If you can go into a space or a place without the karma, you're just there with someone that you love. So there's a chance to do that, to complete the karma and see if you still feel like you need or want to be there. But the karma has to be completed first. Sorry, this table isn't fully locked down, so it will move a little bit from time to time. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Seven of Cups coming through here. Your mind, where is your mind? So the Seven of Cups, you're searching for a higher meaning and also working through some of the release of the past. Now, I don't really feel like I would put mourning with this. I love this deck, but I think that the mourning card is Five of Cups. But sometimes after we fully mourn something, our mind is spinning. So just a second, I'm gonna pull a different interpretation here. Sorry, I talked off mic. I'm gonna pull a different interpretation because I don't feel like that one's helping. And I don't know, actually this one's not gonna work either. You know the traditional Seven of Cups. It's basically just someone that is looking up at the sky, all the cups are in the air. And with this one, I feel like maybe something from the past is blocking you from seeing this. We'll just kind of go with what we've got in front of us. So if that's the case, take a moment to just focus on the salient piece. Make sure that you can see the forest for the trees, that you're not so thick or deep in something that you can't see beyond it. Because I do feel like it's easier than it might initially feel like. The Seven of Cups is also, like the Two of Wands, a reminder of the importance of daydreaming, envisioning, keeping things in the realm of possibilities, but also putting a little bit of a timeline on that. Say, I'm going to give myself some time to explore the options, and if something doesn't come through, then I'm going to go with this. Give yourself a plan A, B, and C, put some timelines on that. That's going to help you out. This could also just be confusion. It's not clear, and in this case, because we're looking at partnerships, what the other person wants. What do you want? What are you looking for? I feel like that's the main thing here, is could we be clearer on our communications and our goals, okay? And you're right, someone in chat mentioned ghosts of the past. Absolutely. So in a relationship read, if I pull this card, I'm like, oh, that person's been thinking about you. And something really cool the other day was happening where I was speaking with a spiritual friend. While I was talking to them about another relationship in my life, that person that I was talking about texted me. I'm like, of course, because they know that I'm thinking about them. And that person's naturally kind of intuitive, and they probably were like, oh, I need to check in on Nicholas and see what's going on. So thoughts are powerful. If you have something that you need to air and get out into the open, do it. And then also share your hopes and dreams and fears with someone. That's also part of a healthy relationship, okay? Let's see what the future tense is looking like here. And we have Eight of Swords. It's in the reverse position. So when it's upright, we have the word struggle here. And traditionally, this would be someone that's blindfolded, feels like they're trapped. But when it's reversed, they realize, you know what, there's another way through this. It might be a little bit of a push to get through it, but I'm going to be A-okay. And I do feel like for some of you, it's just that, pushing through a difficult moment. As long as the other partner, the other person is doing the work, as long as you both are focused, I feel like it will be okay. All right? So now let's take a look at your question on this, whether it's your mother, father, daughter, lover, friend, future partner, whatever it is you're trying to get clarity on. Let me just see what Spirit has to say. Okay, I'll take it. We have the Seven of Wands. It's reversed, but I want to pull it in the upright position. Clearance. Sometimes the old has to give way. Something has to be removed so that something newer, something better, something brighter can come forth. And this is a moment where you're very much being invited to let go. This is not how the Seven of Wands is normally illustrated. Typically, we would see someone holding or pushing back. It comes through because you just ostensibly went through something successful and now there's more attention. So if we connect this to relationships, you've worked on yourself. Maybe you've been through an interesting relationship and you're stronger. Now there's more opportunities or people coming knocking at the door. Friends, loved ones, maybe even business opportunities. People are attracted to you. That's all love is, it's attraction. So because there's a little bit higher level of attraction directed toward you, you have to be more discerning. And ultimately, this is just saying be discerning and clear your energy before you move forward. That discernment is going to be really, really important, okay? Try to avoid getting defensive. If somebody's acting a fool, foolishly, not kind of like, just push it back and say, let's talk later. Now's not a good time, or we're just not making any progress. So you don't have to like, no unnecessary tension is what I'm getting with this as well. Don't put fuel to the fire, as I'm looking at the fire in the background as well. So fight the good fights, but don't just fight for the sake of fighting, okay? All right, now I'm just gonna do 2 additional cards here because we can. For those of you that might be trying to attract a partner, I'm just gonna look at that. Or attract an opportunity. Let's go bigger. Let's use the attractive energy towards that because we're looking at manifesting. So pulling in a person or an opportunity. That way those that are single and happy can use that as a sort of, or partnered and happy, we can focus on something else. So we have the stag in this deck, and I believe that strength and justice were reversed in this particular one. So this is about standing up for yourself and making sure that you're not, again, you're not kind of like adhering to what other people expect. You have to basically say no when necessary, create a new path for yourself when necessary, and also be ready and willing to march to the beat of your own drum. Is very much what I'm getting for this. So that means when you're trying to attract or create, you're not going to change yourself to be in the mold of someone else. So if someone else wants something that you can't give, you gotta wait. If you feel like you have to dress, talk, or act a certain way to please somebody, wait. Be bold and be yourself. Let those sort of like peacock feathers be extended and know that that's gonna pull in the right partner, okay? And you might have to just stand your ground and be yourself right now. Okay, let's move on to Destiny to see where everything's headed. And then we'll look at maybe the bonus categories. And I have this deck waiting for us right here. All right, so for Destiny, we're just gonna pull a single card since I'm gonna go into bonus in just a second. And actually for this one, maybe for Destiny, we'll do another Oracle card. So I love what we've got here. It's reminding you that you are the architect, the creator, the writer, director, and producer of your own life. So step into that powerful multi-hyphenate role. We talked about not having to just be one of these things. It's the entire rainbow like we see here. So liberate yourself in this moment to do and to be more, okay? So let me take a quick look at the poll for this week. And since you were kind enough to help us meet the goal, by the way, thank you. I want to see what the runner-up was, and we can maybe go with that. All right, so how to get out of your way, it looks like was the runner-up. That's a really good one. Okay, so I'd like to take a couple of moments to help you get out of your own way. So I want to see what you've been doing that might have created this moment where you feel like you're in your own way, and then I want to help you get out of it. Okay, and while I'm doing that, just a big thank you to everybody that's been here for this part of the journey. All right. We're going to do a mini not even a Celtic, but a past, present, future spread here. We're going to start off with the energy from the past. Page of Pentacles. Well, on the bright side, you've done the work. This page is planting the seed of intention. The knight is following soon thereafter. He has a little key there on the branch too. So the intention has been set. The work has been done. We haven't seen a lot of growth coming through, but the initial intention has been set. So just talking about that first, I think that one thing that you are free to do is to plant multiple seeds. Don't put all of your eggs in a single basket. For love, for work, for living situation, whatever it is that you've been trying to manifest, it feels like it's been too exclusive, that it's just one. It's like applying to colleges. You've got to do more than one. You need at least 2 to 3 choices so that you have options. When you're less attached to one option, you might find that you like something over here a little more or differently, and then suddenly the other one, it's like with the friend that texted me, it's like, wait, don't forget about me. You need a little bit of detachment, and that's going to help you manifest, okay? So I wanted to see what's blocking the present. We have the Four of Pentacles. This Four of Pentacles is holding on to the past, holding on to something that's been going on. So I'm going to share a metaphor that I was talking to a friend with yesterday, and it kind of made me emotional in the moment, but then it made sense. I said, I think I've been holding on to postcards of the past 2 or 3 years for me in this part of my life where I've been living in the same place and doing the same thing, and kind of like I was holding on to postcards of the past, and I'm ready to go to a new destination and create new postcards to send out rather than holding on to photographs, memories, and old patterns that clearly weren't working. So that's what this person's doing. They're holding on for dear life. It is a scarcity mindset, but it's also a comfort mindset. And sometimes you have to let go of the old postcards to make room for new ones. And that can be anything. It can be figurative, it can be literal, but you're opening yourself up to new experiences. Open yourself up to new ways of living, thinking, and doing. This deck has 2 different Ten of Swords. One shows a little bit of pain, one shows wisdom. So this pain, this challenge, this setback has been an amazing teacher. This moment in time. So we see an older, wiser person looking at the owl representing all of the pain, and it's going to be okay. You got it. You had to go through it. But look at how much stronger you are because of that. See the pain as a not just context, but maybe as a blessing on some levels, because you know that doesn't work. Ouch, I don't like it. Just like when we cut ourselves, this is a paper cut. It hurts, so you don't do it again. And you learned from it, and you didn't fail, and you didn't make a mistake. Okay? This may be my favorite Ten of Swords. I also like the Lightseer's deck where she's walking away and we see the aftermath. But this one is really what most of us feel when we're in the Ten of Swords. Can I find a silver lining? Multiple silver linings come through right now. This isn't what I want. This isn't going to happen again. I learned a lot from this. Then the Ten of Swords will go away. It was a lesson. You called it in. You're stronger, you're wiser, you're okay. All right? But if something is consistently not working, you have to change. And that's what he's doing. He's looking at the patterns of the Ten of Swords and saying, all right. All right. All right. Isn't it funny how you can have a whole conversation with one word? Have you ever seen those acting challenges where they just say the same thing? Or it's kind of like in Heated Rivalry where she kept saying like, girl, girl, girl. So sometimes you just need one word and you can do a lot with it. All right. 8 of Cups, making and breaking cycle. She's breaking a cycle there. But it's also about taking a break. When was the last time that you enjoyed yourself or did something just for you? If you're burned out, nothing good is going to come of that, and nothing at all. You need to step back so you can see the pattern, so you can decide if you want to continue or redirect. The other thing here is second chances. And for some of you, if something isn't working now, or if it didn't work before, it's different now. You're coming at it from a place of wisdom. So you can see what not to do, and you can avoid it. So give it a try. This Eight of Cups is a second chance, and also wisdom that comes from the ability to take a step back and get the big picture. In relationships, there can be an intermittent energy where someone comes and goes. And the only message I'm getting from Spirit on that is that might be the best that they can give right now. It's hard when that's like a parent or an ex or someone that you care about, but they're dealing with their own stuff. That was a very interesting download, but I was like, I'll share that little piece too. Okay? This was a powerful reading today, wasn't it? Okay. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to kind of peruse. We're going to do this is like the best of. I'm going to choose little pieces of the ones that didn't win. The heart chakra, which very rarely gets chosen, so I will occasionally highlight it. I'd like to pull a single card on if there's anything that you can do to facilitate healing in your life. Inner child healing. Okay, and how can you heal the inner child? Okay. Oh, we have a hidden card. Look at that. Okay, so we have two things here for healing. So one is the inner child. There might be a wound from the past that is reemerging, and it could be anything. There could be a death in your life, something new, great that's coming through, and you wish that someone that's gone could be there for that. There can also be something where you're just like, I don't want that. I want to have fun. The little kid is coming out and saying, I don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want you to listen to the inner child, the eternal child. You're never too young and you're never too old to grow up, to do something that you love, etc. And then we have the mirror beneath it. The inner child's coming through to help you see your true self, that you've never truly lost touch with that. Beautiful energy here. We also have a little bit of the moon coming through. This last full moon, the blue moon, was a doozy, wasn't it? Like, I feel like it brought up a lot of stuff, and you still may be, from this full moon to the next new moon phase, releasing a lot of that. Everyone and everything in your life is a mirror to you and for you. It's not punishment, it's a mirror. If you don't like something, change that aspect of yourself so that person or that sort of thing doesn't come back. And this is the true mourning card, the Five of Cups. So give yourself a chance to let it out, let it go. But she has two cups on either side of her. Friendship, partnership, support. It's there. You might have to reach out or you might have to say yes. Sometimes those are the hardest things in your life. But you will get through this moment in time. And normally there's a bridge on this card over troubled water. So you're just taking a step at a time. Each day gets a little bit better. And my mom's been gone, 4 years now? This past April. And yeah, I'm on the other side for the most part of that. But like, I can speak from grief. It doesn't go away completely, but you get a better relationship with it as you go through it. My dad's been gone a long time, since 2014, I can't remember, 2014. And so that will happen too. You're like, when was it? It's a healthy sign when it's not like front and center. So you will get through whatever the challenge is in your heart. It will one day feel better, but you incorporate it as well. That's a healthier approach towards pain and grief. It's like, I don't really have any that are visible here, but you might have a small scar on your skin somewhere from a surgery, from an accident, from something like that. That is a reminder that you survived. And the scars, they're like badges of honor. I got through this. I'm still standing. I'm still here. Wrinkles on the face, scars on the skin. It shows that you are strong and resilient, okay? And you are strong and resilient. And that's a beautiful way to wrap up the bonus portion. Thank you for consistently helping me meet that bonus goal each week. It's a nice little give and get. You give a little bit, I give a little bit, and we both get something in return. All right, let's meditate. I'll still pull a bonus card because I'm nice and I feel like it could help many of us. So close your eyes, please, and imagine yourself, because we saw that beautiful creator card with the rainbow. I'd like you, and because it's Pride Month too, see yourself at the end of a rainbow. Rainbows represent a lot of different things in spirituality. They represent the ability to connect with all of your chakras. Each color, Roy G. Biv, going from red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, etc. I might have missed something, but it's all of you're using all of the colors in your palette to paint with in your life. Whoever in your life told you could only paint with one color or only be one thing, look at the rainbow and remind yourself, actually no, I can be multiple things. I can be a multi-hyphenate. I don't have to fit that box. The rainbow represents beauty after a storm, after sadness. For those of you that are grieving or releasing something, take a deep breath in and imagine that each one of those rays of light in the rainbow is moving through you and clearing the energy. And if you like, why don't we walk across the rainbow? Let's imagine that you're right at the end of a rainbow. There's abundance. There's a pot of gold. You can touch that, connect with that, get a little bit of luck. And then as you start to walk across the rainbow, you see each and every color connecting with the corresponding chakra in your body and healing it. Healing the safety issues from the root chakra, allowing you to express yourself in the second chakra. Clearing up the gut, allowing you to feel powerful and free. Opening the heart so that you can receive love, abundance, and opportunity. All of this or greater. Connecting with the throat so you can speak your truth. Allowing the third eye to be wide open. Whoa. So you can see beyond things. That scared me. That woke me up. And then in the crown chakra, I'm in a hotel. Stuff like that's going to happen. In the crown chakra, opening yourself up to see all the possibilities. I have to believe that we needed that high frequency to wake up. Spirit's funny, isn't it? All right, take a breath or two. My eyes are wide open. And allow yourself to come to and focus on one thing that you want to manifest. Imagine that you could hold it in front of your heart and put the blessing of all of this or greater. Let's pause for a second. I really want you to do this. Think about what that is. Breathe a little bit of fire and energy into it and place it in your heart. Take a breath or two, and on the next natural exhale, open your eyes if it's not already open. The third eye is wide open, thanks to whatever that was. That made me laugh. All right. And now's a chance, by the way, for the final card. Ask a question that you still need some guidance on. It was really loud. I don't know what it was. I think it was a fire alarm that just went off for like a half minute. Or half second, rather. Please relax. Apollo's in the background. I don't have the camera set up. We'll pull him up at the end. Because I'm also in a different setup. Hopefully this will be fine for now, but I don't have the overhead. I'm using my other camera for that. I have to do something else. I was up until like midnight last night getting this set up. So baby steps, folks. It's better than it was all week. All right. Six of Swords in the reverse position. Okay. Couple of notes on this. 1 step forward, or 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Some of you might be making slower progress than you expect. Give it some time. Give it some space. It will be okay. 6 of Swords in reverse also, a delay, but not a delay that's going to be long term. So you may have a plan in front of you, but there's a piece of paperwork, there's a physical delay at like the airport or something like that, but it's more of a layover than a full stop delay. Also with the 6 of Swords, are you steering the ship or are you waiting for someone to make it happen? This could happen a lot faster if you are the one that's kind of in the boat rowing. And in this illustration, we see someone finding a way through something. And it's just about taking a step at a time. Slower is sometimes better. Be slow, be methodical, be clear, be focused. That's better than potentially, sort of like jumping headfirst without knowing where you're going. If you need to travel, get some travel insurance. Okay. That's everything, folks. We got through it with just one loud sound in the background. So I just want to say thank you so much. We're going to take a couple moments of here to express gratitude to those that gave back, but I want to start off by saying thanks to everybody for showing up. And if you want to give back in a way that is really meaningful and you can't monetarily do so, like the video once, subscribe if you've never subscribed, and share it on your social media feed. There's a share button here and you can share it out to whatever platform you want to. that helps a lot, and it helps with engagement. So thank you in advance. By the way, if you ever want to sign up for my newsletter for future news and information, especially as I move, and there might be some new things that I'm doing in the coming months, it's a great time to do it. It's free, and I only send out a few every quarter or year. It's a sparse thing, but it's good to have just in case. And I plan to use it a little bit more later this year. Okay. Gratitude. Thanks, folks, for showing up today. Welcome, everybody. Again, just good to be here, and I'm glad that we made time for each other today. All right, I would like to take a couple of moments here to observe those who went above and beyond. I'll start off with Dakota. Thank you for just helping out with the chat. It's good to have you back. Good to have you here. Okay, so Ms. Cindy, congrats on being a member for 33 months, and welcome from the Pacific Northwest. Good to have you here. Sam Murphy, thanks for being a member. Thanks for your sticker as well. Mary Jones, thank you so much for 1 year. Happy 1 year anniversary of being a member. Jamie McCormick, always good to have you here. Thanks for your membership and for the sticker as well. Colette, good to see you. Thanks for contributing so much in chat, for being a member, and for the sticker. S. Lynn, good morning to you as well. Thank you for being a longtime member and for the sticker. Denise, good to see you. Thank you for your member and for your membership and for your sticker. And Walk, good to see you as always. Thank you for the sticker. Always good to have you here. Colette, thank you again. Teresa, thank you for the sticker. Very much appreciated. Let's see. Darcy, I think it is. Darcy, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships, and welcome to everybody that became a member because of that. Colette, thank you so much again for the sticker and membership. Let's see. Stine Maria, thank you so much for your sticker and for your membership. And I don't know how to say thank you in Danish, but I know how to say it in Swedish. Talk. Mary Jones, thank you again. Much appreciated. Anwalk, thank you again. Solka, I think it is. Thank you so much for being a new member and also for the sticker. I need a drink and then we'll continue. Casey and Bloom, good to see you again. Thank you for your sticker and membership. Colette, thank you for the multiple stickers today. Jeannie, thank you very much for your long-time membership and for the sticker today. Much appreciated. Gigi, thank you for contributing a lot to chat. Thanks for the for the sticker as well. Ruello, I think it is. Thank you so much for all the beautiful rainbows and for the rainbow hearts, I should say, and for your sticker. Kathy, good to see you. Thanks for the long-time membership and for the sticker. Shelly Williams, good to see you as well. Thanks for being a member and for your sticker. Yolanda, glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for the sticker. Wonderbar, thank you for your sticker. Colette, thank you again. Ann Walk, thank you again. Shelly, thank you again. I appreciate the multiple contributions because you helped us make the goal for today. Again, Wonderbar, and Colette, thank you again. Colette, thank you again. Gigi, thank you again. Colette, Wonderbar, and Anne, thank you one more time. Solka, thank you so much again for being a very long time member and for the multiple stickers. Teresa, thank you again for the sticker and membership. MP Lehman, thank you for the sticker. Welcome to everybody that joined because of me. Georgia, thank you so much for your long-time membership and also for for gifting a sticker. Handongul, thank you for your sticker. Taksumika. Christina, thank you very much for rejoining. Renee, 40 months, get out of town. Don't get out of town, you know what I'm saying. Thank you so much. This was a really powerful reading. I think I've said this a lot, but maybe it's just because there's so many things that are going on. This was one of the most powerful weekly collectives, and it all magically kind of came together despite no less than 4 changes of location. I've signed for a week here, and if it works, I'm going to try to negotiate a monthly rate, and then I don't have to move until I have to really move. So it just took me a minute. Anyway, doesn't matter how long it took to get here. I'm glad I'm here, and I'm so glad that I had this time with everybody today. As promised, let's pull Apollo up. He's sleeping behind me, but I'll wake him up. Hey, buddy. Oh, I know. Everybody wants to say hi to you, if you don't mind. Look at him. He just got groomed this week. He's looking very, very handsome. And he said, I'm sorry I didn't have my camera moments, but we'll take care of that for next week. What is this little fuzzy thing, buddy? He's like, I've been nosing around and stuff. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic week ahead. Lots of love from Apollo and from me. We'll keep in touch and see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.